Hey, it's Opinionated Faxx. Got a boy with me right now. We got Mr. SoulToast and myself, Hollywoods. How you doing today, brother?
And I'm doing fantastic on this lovely weekend. How about yourself?
Lovely weekend, lovely Memorial Day weekend. You know what I mean? I've been bored. It's been raining.
Yeah,
I'm back on here to do my thing. You know what I mean? So, hey,
I feel you.
so this is what we're gonna get into, man. It seems like with Julio Jones being on the move. Of course, I had my feelings about it. Of course, I can go into detail about it. I'm passionate about this shit, but I'm not gonna do it. Not today. I'm gonna keep it simple. But with that being said, he's moving, and Julio is arguably one of the best receivers to ever set foot in the NFL. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can attest to that. But this
Yeah.
spurs a conversation. Julio has over 12,000 yards receiving. He's knocking on 13,000 yards. That's almost good for top 15, maybe. He could be
Yeah,
in
I
top
think
15,
so.
close to it. So this is what I want to talk to you about. The best receivers ever come into the league. I mean, there's quite a few names, especially ones that are on the rise. Like DeAndre Hopkins could be one of those receivers. Who knows? But in your opinion, how about you give me your top 5 receivers that ever blessed the NFL gridiron?
All right. Well, I'm only 34 years young, so I ain't seen it all. I wasn't there with Lynn Swan and all that, Steel Curtain or Steve Largent. So I got to give them honorable mentions off the back. I didn't see it, but I heard they were great.
Yeah.
Number one is Jerry Rice, the GOAT, whatever. I got my own feelings about that. He be in some sticky situations sometimes, but it's whatever. He still went out there and did it, even with the Raiders. He's got the most receiving yards in the playoffs, most touchdowns and all that. So right off the back, number one, Jerry Rice. Number 2 and 3, I can interchange. It's either Terrell Owens or Randy Moss.
Oh.
Randy Moss took a couple years off when he went to the Raiders and was just smoking weed all day. Then he came back with
My
the
man's got a
Patriots
break.
and
He took a
balled out.
break in Oakland. That's the crazy part. That's what it was, and that's really what it was. It was a break.
Yeah, he took a break, and if he had played them 2 years, man, I couldn't imagine what kind of stats he could have. But everybody got their own reasons, or whatever. It seems like when you go to the Raiders, your next stop is the better stop. Same thing happened with Carson Palmer. So it's T.O. and Randy Moss. T.O., people give him a lot of flack. Some people say he's a bad teammate.
Yeah.
He had no off the field issues that I know of, besides doing sit-ups in his driveway. And everywhere he went, he produced, whether it was the Bills, the Eagles, Dallas, Cincinnati, whoever was throwing in the ball, he went up there and got it. He wasn't the best at taking hits, but I don't blame the guy. But wherever he went, he produced. And it was a shame that it made him wait 3 years to get in the Hall of Fame. He should have been first ballot. So those are my top 3. And then 4 and 5, it's more the newer cats that I've actually seen more of. Well, actually, no. Chris Carter is my number 4.
Oh, wow.
Because when he retired, he was second in everything.
Mm-hmm.
He was second in yards, touchdowns, and all that. And for whatever reason, they made him wait, I think, 6 years to get, 6 extra years to get into the Hall of Fame. I know because his off-field issues, he had a lot of, issues and demons he's been battling, but he seems good now.
Yeah.
So I had to throw him in there. Of course, there's more receivers that came out that got more yards and touchdowns and all that. But when he retired, I think he was the clear second best, but they made him wait. And number 5 is a toss-up. It's a Larry Fitzgerald, who refuses to leave Arizona, or your boy Julio Jones. I didn't want to put Julio Jones on my list, but the dude is nasty. I mean, he puts up big numbers every year. He's quiet. I like those kind of guys. He just does what he needs to do, no matter who the second receiver is. Of course, he came in with Roddy White, so he was able to do his thing. Now with Calvin Ridley, he keep going. Larry Fitz, of course, he's up there in age. He fell off a little bit towards the end because he's getting old. Exactly. But my top 5 would be Jerry, T.O., Randy, Carter, and I can interchange Fitz and Julio.
I'm with that. A lot of people don't give Chris Carter his respect, give him his due. Like while he was in Minnesota, then it was Randy Moss coming with him. But they're forgetting that Chris Carter was a dog while he was there before Randy Moss. They keep forgetting that.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Some of these young cats, man, they need to go watch the tape. Just
they
go
do.
watch the tape and see how he is. You know, it's kind of like Shannon Sharp's brother, Sterling Sharp.
Yeah,
Everyone forgets what kind of dog he was. You know what I mean? He doesn't get the respect he deserves. But he
yeah.
was
He did a
actually
lot in a little bit of time. Yeah,
exactly in Green Bay. He was one of the faces of Green Bay. I'm not saying he
absolutely,
was the face, but he was one of the faces in Green Bay. But he doesn't get the
absolutely.
respect he deserves either. You know what I mean? So I like that top five. I like that top five. Mine might throw you off a little bit because T.O. is not in my top five. Um,
Whoa. Okay.
yeah. No,
All right.
this is no disrespect to T.O., but he said this is my top five receivers of all time. You know what I mean? Of
Right.
course, you cannot deny the fact that T.O. is a great receiver. He's a Hall of Fame receiver. However, when I see receivers, I see them a certain way. So our top two are basically the same. Jerry Rice, of course, number one. The dude has
Right.
22,000 receiving yards, over 22,000. So that's just ridiculous in his own right. Yes, he played for some years. He
Yeah.
played for some years. I respect to him for keeping his body in shape to play all those years, and
Yeah.
that's why he gets my that number one pick. Because a lot of people be like, well, Jerry Rice did this on these teams. Jerry Rice was able to play in the league for a long time. And
Oh,
that's like looking at LeBron right now in the NBA, how he's playing for a long time at the level that he's playing at.
right.
It's all about how they take care of their bodies, how they put themselves in situations, how they actually approach the game. Jerry Rice was very meticulous in his route running, you know what I mean? And that was one thing that able to keep him healthy because he knew what to do. He knew how to put himself in position to win. And a lot of people just don't get that now. They want to see
Nope.
the glitz and the glamour versus, the clean cut route runner, you know what I mean? And that's what it is. Randy Moss, number two. Everyone cannot forget the game. If you do forget the game, Bleacher Report finds a way to actually throw it in there every year. He had 3 catches, 3
Yeah.
touchdowns. They will not let you forget it. I hope no one ever
Ever.
forgets. 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. That's just ridiculous. It was over 103 yards, I think, something like
I think
that.
130 yards.
Something like that.
Yeah.
He was killing it. 3 catches, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's just spectacular. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to do what everyone else doing, go out there and get 20 catches or 10 catches. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just give him 3 catches. That was it. And that's how it goes, man. All right. So, number 3 on my list. I got to throw my dog in there, bro.
No, don't do it.
Actually, I got to throw Julio number 3.
Number 3 already?
Number
Oh,
3. And this is it. And this is the
it's your
only reason
list.
why.
It's your list.
This is the only reason why. Julio does not have the touchdowns. Julio sacrificed a lot playing with the Falcons. He did. He sacrificed his touchdown playing with the Falcons because everyone can see it. He was used as a decoy a lot of the time because he drew those double teams up. But, they found ways to get other touchdowns. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. He could be mad at it. He could have been mad at it, just demand the ball all the time,
Right.
like the Antonio Brown Diva situation, you know what I mean?
Right.
But he didn't do it. He was focused on winning football games. Did they win a lot? I mean, some of these years, yes. They went to the Super Bowl in years when he really, was trying to embrace that decoy role.
Right.
But Julio averaged the most receiving yards ever in NFL history per game. So he has that going for him. Julio is also, as far as the current players in the league right now, there's no player in the league that has more 250 plus yard games than Julio Jones. There's nobody else. I think he has either 3 or 4.
Right.
3 or 4 250 plus yard games. He's also one of the ones that went for 12 catches and 300 yards. That list is not long. That list is not long for receivers who got 300 yards receiving in one game.
Right.
So Julio goes on right there for me because I can only see him reaching that 15,000 yards in his career. He's going to hit it. He's going to hit it. And he's that prototypical receiver. He's what a lot of receivers strive to be. A.J. Brown, for example. A.J. Brown, he looks up to Julio Jones. He wants him on the team with him right now.
Right.
Julio is just a beast. You will want to be that kind of player.
Right.
So you got that. That's my number 3. And number 4, he was arguably one of my favorite receivers too. Torrey Holt was number 4 for me. I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with my list, man. I was a Torrey Holt fan. I was such a Torrey Holt fan. You know what I mean? They had the greatest show on turf, baby. Come on now. Look, he was there. He
Number
was
4?
there. Number 4, man. This is my list. This is
Yeah,
my
it's
list.
your list. Your right.
If you want to say the top 5 receivers in NFL history at all, period, then yeah, I'm gonna throw T.O. in there. I'm gonna put those other players in there. But this is my list, my top 5. And I was such a fan of Torrey Holt, man. Number 81 used to be so clean in his route running while he was with St. Louis. And he had the pleasure of playing with Isaac Bruce.
Right.
So when he came into the league, he had someone to actually learn from. You know what I mean? He actually had someone to, pick their brain. He was a good receiver for years and years. He doesn't get the respect that he deserves sometimes too.
Yeah.
A lot of people sleep on him. And that's part I don't get. Torrey Holt, even when he went to Jacksonville for 1 year, I think he had over 1,000 yards that year. And that was toward the end of his career.
Right.
No one gives him the respect he deserves. But Torrey Holt was a beast. His route running, the fact that he was able to beat mofos down the field, is just 6 feet tall. He was very good, man. And no one really pays attention to him. And like I said, this is my top 5, people.
I'm intrigued, man. I want to know who number 5 is.
This is my top 5. So I need everyone to realize that. If we go on the top 5 receivers ever to grace NFL, then yes, T.O. is in that list. I'm gonna keep saying it before y'all try to jump down my throat. T.O. is on that list, all right? But number 5, and I actually could have interchanged Torrey Holt and this number 5 right here, but I gotta go Calvin Johnson. He didn't play as long as a lot of these other receivers did.
Right.
But he was such a dog, man. And I'm glad he left Detroit. He retired. Yeah. So that definitely played a fact in why he retired. But we missed out on some great years from Calvin Johnson. We did.
Absolutely.
And we can only blame Detroit. We can only blame the Lions.
Detroit do that.
They do that. Like that was he would have been probably number 1 if he would have stayed and kept doing what he was doing. And he said, well, I want to go this way all the way to the end. He was the only receiver I think that was capable of having a 2,000 yard plus season.
Yeah, man. Oh man, I wanted him to get that 1 year so bad.
There's only been 2 receivers ever I think that could have got 2,000 yards, and Julio is one. Those are only 2 receivers I saw that could ever do a 2,000 yard season. Calvin was pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Julio was like I want to say 150 yards short.
Yeah, he had 1,800 or something.
He was like 150 yards short of a 2,000 yard season. Antonio Brown was close too, but Antonio Brown he kept demanding the ball, so he kept getting all these steps. Yeah, so I couldn't really be like that. The same thing with Michael Thomas. That 1 year he had a great year. He was the man. He wasn't. Yeah. You know what I mean? But Julio and Calvin Johnson are the only 2 receivers I thought could ever have a 2,000 yard season. Calvin Johnson also had a game where he had 329 yards receiving.
Yeah.
Calvin Johnson was such a beast. He went up in triple teams, and still came down the ball for the touchdown. You know what I mean? So it was such an easy job being a quarterback in Detroit.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think Matthew Stafford was glad when he retired so he can actually show that he was a decent quarterback.
Yeah.
Because look, all you got to do is throw it toward Calvin. He'll catch it. At 6'5", and like 225, yeah, he's catching. I think it was 230. Oh, you're right. I think it was like 230. But 6'5", running a 4.3, that's crazy. That's crazy. And Julio's at 6'3", 225, 220, and he runs a 4.3. Those 2 players are like the gold standard, I want to say. You know what I mean? Julio especially, he's like a gold standard. If you had that receiver coming out, they got his talent, his ability, you want that receiver on your team, period.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean?
And this is no shade at players like Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins. This is no shade at players like that because they're both great in their own right. But Julio, he's that receiver you want. No drama off the field. When he gets on the field, he balls and he doesn't say anything. That's what you want.
Right.
So that's my top 5, man. It's kind of.
He ended it good.
Look,
man, it got a little weird in the middle.
Hey, Torrey Holt, man. Torrey Holt can actually be interchanged. Like I said, go back and forth. But I was just a Torrey Holt fan growing up, man. He played for the Rams. I like Marshall Faulk, but Torrey Holt was he was what I wanted to be as far as a receiver. He was the first receiver I wanted to be like, on the field.
Ah, okay.
So I got a little ties with that. That's why. But
I got
hey,
you.
as we continue to look at this right here, we have the young receivers up and coming in the league right now. Looking at this, looking at the current receivers we have, the rookies from last year, I'm not including rookies from this year, because nothing has yet been seen about how they are. But looking at the receivers coming up, who do you see making a name for themselves and actually getting in the conversation of a top 5 receiver?
Top 5 of all time?
You know, let's hit top 10. Let's hit top 10. Just getting in the top 10. The top 5 is going to be hard to take.
How young we going? Like, because I could throw DeAndre in there.
Go ahead and throw DeAndre in there because we're going as young as Justin Jefferson, man.
Oh, yeah. Justin Jefferson was my first pick. Look, with Kirk Cousins and him balling out like that, I didn't expect that at all. I hope he only gets better.
Yeah.
He got some interesting shoes to fill in Minnesota.
Exactly.
But man, I figured he'd be good, but I didn't think he'd be that great.
No one expected that.
Only thing gonna hold him back is Kirk Cousins, and hopefully
Right.
he don't. But besides Justin Jefferson being that young and all that, DeAndre, if little mini me can get him the ball,
Yep.
Kyler Murray, then I think he can. Look, he produced with crappy quarterbacks in Houston, so I always got to give a receiver that. If you can produce when your quarterback is subpar, I got to give him props for that. And he did that in Houston before Watson got there. Now he's doing it with Kyler Murray. So just right off the top of my head, I'm thinking those two. Stephon Diggs maybe, but I don't know.
I think he
I
came
haven't
on
seen
late.
enough consistency with
Yeah,
Stephon Diggs. So
he came
those
on
two.
late. Yeah, Stephon Diggs definitely came on late. If he was like acting like this at the beginning of his career, then we would have a totally different conversation right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, you mentioned Justin Jefferson. I agree. I'm kind of curious to see what his future holds. If he can continue his consistency, then yeah, he can be up there. One name that I would have said if you were asking me this about 2-3 years ago, I would have said this receiver, Odell Beckham. I would have said Odell.
Okay.
Because I feel like Odell has fallen off. It's like he's just not the same. But he was arguably one of those best receivers.
Yeah, he was with the Giants, but I don't know. I know the Giants haven't looked great since he left, but when the offense seems to click better when you're not there, that's not a good sign.
Yeah,
I know he demands the ball a lot and all that, but if you can have a better offense without one wide receiver being there, that's not a good look. In Cleveland and New York, I thought you were going to say Antonio Brown before all his off the field issues, because he balled out since day one, but ever since his off the field issues, I think he's accepted his role of not being that guy, and now he's just hanging with Tom trying to get rings, which I don't blame. But he was balling out for a very long time, and if we just going by yards wise, I guess you could throw Mike Evans in there because he has not caught below 1,000 yards, and I think he's been in 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put him in like a top anything.
I can't do it. I can't do it for Mike Evans. He's a consistent receiver. You give him that respect where it's due. But nothing about him shouts, great all-time talent. You know what I mean? Yeah. When you're 6'5" and you're on the team and you got at least some athletic ability, if you don't get 1,000 yards a season, something's wrong.
Right.
Hey, look, and Antonio Brown is a Hall of Famer, despite what we might want to say about him, his off-field issues and this, that, and third. He can be a cancer. He was a cancer for a lot for those Pittsburgh teams.
Yeah,
but he's a great receiver. And he definitely had a chip on his shoulder, especially where he came from and how he got into the league. He had a chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? But he's definitely one of the greatest receivers. I would not put him above Julio Jones. He has more touchdowns than Julio Jones, but he demanded the ball a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, he did.
I think another receiver that we both didn't mention, but I'm not so sold on it yet, but DK Metcalf. I'm not sold on him yet, but he has potential.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He's just a freak athlete.
He's a freak athlete. You know what I mean? He has potential. It's just like, let's see how he does when he goes down with an injury or something like that. At least Julio, when he went down with an injury, that was like maybe year 3, probably year 2, year 3. He had an injury, but he came back better than ever. So, you know what I mean? He actually faced adversity and he killed it. DK Metcalf has the benefit of playing with Russell Wilson right now.
Yeah.
So Russell Wilson get the ball. Russell Wilson wants out of Seattle. So
yeah, he wants to sling it. They don't want to sling it over there. They want to go back to running it.
Yeah, and this is no disrespect to DK Metcalf. You know what I mean? He can be a great receiver, but I think the tape is still out there. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to hype him up, you know, because he got the size. He's like a
right. I mean, it's only what, his second year going into his third?
Yeah, second year going to his third. You know, the same thing was said about Odell Beckham. And what happened?
Yeah, man. He had that, man. I think it all, ever since he went on that boat, he ain't come back the same.
He ain't come back the same, man.
They went on a boat and that was it.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
But so I hope he come back good.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't want that to happen to DK Metcalf. I think he has a lot of potential. But the tape is still out on him right now. And it's going to continue to be out until he actually shows a whole lot of consistency. And hopefully they don't lose Russell Wilson. But if you lose Russell Wilson, that's when he's going to show who he really is. But I'll see. We'll see.
Unless, you know, Russell goes to the Broncos. But besides that, you know, they need to.
Why you gotta go to the Broncos, man?
I didn't even mention that Jerry Rice was on a practice squad for the Broncos in his last couple of years. And he's been seen in a jersey.
And what y'all did?
He make the team.
He didn't make the team, did it?
No. Y'all got a jersey. Hey,
he got a jersey.
Look, he was like 43 at that point. It was nice to see. And I got that picture. I'm the same.
He was also with the Seattle Seahawks too, toward in his career.
Yeah, he just wanted to play. And look, if you can produce, they'll let you play. Or if you're best friends with the coach and you can switch positions and, you know, become a tight end.
We're going to talk about this Tim Tebow situation, man. That's just crazy.
What a great.
No, Tebow didn't drop a pass all practice. Damn it, motherfucker, it's practice.
Yeah, it's getting a little annoying, but that's how it is with Tebow.
Yeah.
If Tebow's on your team, it's going to get annoying.
He's going to take attention, and you know what I mean? So hopefully, if it plays out with him, it plays out with him. It's kind of crazy. He has a job before the players have a job. Colin Kaepernick, for example.
Look, Colin Kaepernick had opportunities, but when your girlfriend is texting out that the person who's about to sign you is a slave master and stuff, it's not a good look. You can't be doing stuff like that. Exactly. And you can't be wanting 20 million. Like, if he wanted to play, he could be playing.
Yeah, but it's the truth. Could he be playing? Some teams just didn't want to take a chance on him. You know, we can say that. But you are right. You know, people are texting other people, oh, well, this guy did this, that, and third. He shouldn't want 20 million.
Look, I think he's doing all right for himself, but Seattle is taking multiple looks at him. And I don't think he wants a backup role. He could have gone to one of these quick leagues that, you know, didn't last long, but people would have seen him play, and they sign all kinds of people from the XSL, XF, whatever it's called, and the AFF, whatever it was. Like, it seems like, I don't know if he feels entitled or what, but I do think he was blackballed because you just don't disappear like that.
No.
But opportunity-wise, I think he wanted to go in his way, and since it didn't go in his way, he didn't want to do it, which I'm fine with. But I think he had opportunities, but it didn't fit what he wanted, so he turned it down, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, in all actuality, man, his window's closed. I mean, if he would have came back in maybe 2 years ago, I've been all right. If he would have took a backup role or whatever role they were offering, you know, get back in the swing of things and start playing.
Right.
But honestly, it's too many years gone by.
Right. Matter of fact, Elway was going to sign him, but Elway's very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't blame Colin for not picking up on that.
No.
Yeah.
Either way, hopefully he's happy with what he's doing. I'm pretty sure he is. Keep it moving. He was a great player while he was in, so respect to him for that. Right. So that's how we're gonna end this segment, man. Top 5 receivers, even though they're kind of might rub some people the wrong way. Remember, it's my top 5 receivers. Goddamn it, mine. Not top 5 all time, like all time. Of course, T.O. was in it. So T.O., if you're watching, I'm sorry, I apologize, but this is my top 5, brother. I'm sorry.
Right.
So with that being said, man, that's how we're gonna end this one right here. Opinionated Faxx. We out.